Hey guys, how's it going? It is November 11th, 2018. Oh, there's my picture of my son there. That should change in a minute. It says it's offline, but no, we're online because it's delayed. But anyways, just wanted to show you that. That was a 2014 picture that I put on the header here when I do these, sometimes these vlogs. Doesn't really, show him what he looks like today or anything like that, so protects his identity, I guess. But anyways, yeah, that's it's probably the typical Sunday around here for me. I jokingly put the title, what was it, Sunday Bloody Sunday, but Sundays are so weird. Actually, Fridays are getting weirder with me too. I can't explain what's really been happening, and I can go. Let me just see what's going on for Monday. I wanted to see that because I'm not going to get on a rant about Run 8. Honestly, I'm not tonight. I want to keep this positive because I've already had a couple of surprises tonight that I didn't expect. Actually, I accomplished quite a bit today with my son. It was really cool. And he helped out, and we went through a lot of stuff. So I found out I don't have as much to go through as I thought I did for the move, and the move is taking place in February. That could make some changes to the channel. I'm not sure yet. What I mean by that is there's a lot of things that could happen depending upon the connection. Whether or not I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. There's going to be changes down the road at the day of the week as well, because with his karate, as he advances into in classes that are higher up, I mean, what is he currently? He's currently a red belt, but he continues to keep on getting into new levels as he continues, and he's not. That's one thing he's totally committed to, without question. He loves it. Again, quite frankly, I love it too. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I did want to check out what's just going on as far as I'm not worried about the train sim forums haven't had anything updates in Run 8, and I'm not going into the Run 8 site. And as far as the Wikia goes here, that's probably Matt Knowlton's post. I don't know how long ago it was, but it's been a while. There's nothing going on right now RTS wise because I have nothing to report, so I haven't posted it, even though I think I put it in the title of this. But I will mention it a little bit because really it's in limbo at the moment. As I said last week, we ran into some issues. Actually, I thought I screwed up my installation. I still don't have the icon that I want, but that's okay as long as I have the program working. But it really actually scared well, it didn't really scare me so much because I thought I was at the end of it. I thought my Run 8 install was screwed, quite frankly, but everything's fine. I needed some space on my hard drives, and I thought I killed it, but I didn't, so it was good. So yeah, this is the typical Sunday thing. I'll get to that in a second. I want to see what's going on in the Southwest Forum, because that is obviously the one that I am most involved with at the moment, and see what's happening. Dispatcher planned on duty times. So this is for this coming week, I would imagine. So yeah, obviously there was nothing today. So it looks like this is Central Standard Time, which Eastern Standard Time will put it up to 8 p.m. Eastern. I will definitely be on for the session. Let me just see what we got for. So far, nobody's taken the bait on this one. And since nobody's taken the bait, there's supposed to be some new, I don't know what it is, some type of, there hasn't hardly been any views on it, quite frankly. So I try to keep this as open as I can, but it's a day before now, so now I want to know what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm not too worried about Wednesday at this point. I don't care. I mean, you know, but at this point I will pencil in myself for the central section, so I will be dispatching. Hopefully I'll be much more organized as well. I didn't get any thumbs up. And I don't care too much about it, but I do care about what you guys, you know, what kind of information I'm showing you guys, you know, make it worth my time, basically. I had 3 thumbs up on the rant video from last weekend, but then, or sorry, late last week I think it was, actually. It was the last video I posted, so it must have been late last week. Wow, that rant video must have went up on Thursday. Let me check on that for a second. Let me just check. Yeah, I'm off to a wonderful start here. Yeah, I'll get to the point, because I actually want to have some fun tonight. So that's live now. 7th. Oh, that was the Wednesday, because I had nothing going on the Wednesday. That's right, because, yeah, we didn't have a Wednesday session this week, so... okay, that's cool. Yeah, but... there you go. Here's what I check with my stats, right? I go to the video manager, and I see, like, 3 thumbs up from Wednesday, and, you know, my life changes and more, bitching and moaning. Of course, there was a rant in there, and I guess some people liked it. I got 1 thumbs down there. I got no thumbs up. But then again, this was a disaster on Monday. Hopefully, I will be better organized. I won't delay my start. I've already done my groceries. Everything should be fine. So I look forward to dispatching the central section tomorrow. And I'll even say that. So what I also want to put is in a sentence here. Is that how you spell organized? I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm so used to spell checkers now. My brain is... Sorry, I'm trying to say S or Z. How about I just change the word? I can't remember. I'm so freaking used to spell checkers, and my brain is just trying to remember stuff. It's just like, yeah, organize. It's got to be a Z. Organize. I don't know. Here. I know Notepad will do it. I don't know why that. It's something. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, forget the spelling lessons here. I know it's one or the other. I mean, certain things in a spell checker will come on, and other things it just won't, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I look stupid. But anyways, and some people get all hung up about that. Who cares? Half the people around, you know, the world can't speak English, or, you know, or whatever. Not to say that they have to speak English, but in countries where English is main language, you know, a lot of people have issues. So I have issues. We all have issues. Okay, enough of that crap. Let's get on to what I wanted to talk about. We'll get out of here, I think. Yeah, what was I going to talk about? Okay, yeah. So, anyways, I checked to see if there was any updates with Run 8, and the reason why I checked, I always check on a weekly basis. The Train Sim forum has not had a post in a month. I already talked about the bitching and moaning from last week's or from Wednesday's video, so I'm not gonna rehash that. What's going on as far as the difficulty, that one of the difficult things that I'm having, I've already been through to you guys about what happens with me, and I've been asking myself. I even talked to my son about this, and I said, you know, I told him, I said, I'm thinking about starting a second YouTube channel. And I said, you know, maybe I would do wrestling reviews, because him and I enjoy, we enjoy, there's a lot of review stuff over there for WWE, but there's very little for Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling. For those of you that know what the hell I'm talking about, probably a lot of you don't, and this is the issue that I get into. Everybody has their own, like, for example, I'll use Mike for an example. Mike, this is just a common example. For example, Mike, like, you know, he's a huge supporter of Run 8, so he has the Southwest server. I know for a fact that I believe Mike he was into a darts league. I don't know if he still is or not. I haven't heard. A lot of changes took place where darts used to happen on one night, I'm pretty sure. But he's also a big football fan. So at this time of year, I know the Sunday and Monday thing changes a lot. It has a lot to do with whatever the football schedule is. So if his team's playing, I imagine Kansas City's playing today. That's why I think you see. I could be wrong. I could be reading into that the wrong way, and that's great. I mean, he's providing a service and giving us entertainment. Quite frankly, and I mean this with all due respect to other servers out there. If he wasn't running right now, I would have a very I don't know what the hell I'd be doing with my time, because I'm still very reliant on Run 8. I just got to a point where, yeah, I could create things, but I want to have fun too, and that's where it really got down to it. So I'm trying to figure out. I hear the dart. I guess the dogs are playing. Okay, that's another thing that will be changing come February. Besides my little phone coming on and off, which will probably be discontinued because that thing does not work very well at all. It just doesn't work well. And holy smoke! But it'll be a little quieter, I would imagine, at the new place. Now, yeah, I'll be underneath my son and my ex, but you know, I mean, they have cats, but yeah, you won't hear it too much. But it's just one of those things. I mean, I don't. There's a lot of stuff going on with that. It has nothing to do. I mean, I get along with them great, so it's not a big deal. If I had a studio, that'd be a different thing, but I really don't. I'm not worried about it. And I got my dishwasher running in the background. It's probably making a lot of noise as well. I just do this for me, basically, and you know, if I bring others along, that's great. But I was thinking of doing another channel because as I was getting to, like, Mike's got different interests, right? We all have different interests. Me personally, I used to like football. I don't anymore. So if I'm to do a YouTube channel about what I like to do, and stick it all in one, well, I know my audience, and my main audience is not survival games. My main audience is trains and or Run 8 and or RTS or something along that line. I know my audience, and I do not want to damage that brand or start, especially if you have notifications on. I don't want you to worry about it. Vlogs, I'm okay with this. You can take my vlog, you can take it or leave it as far as my vlogs, and everybody can do whatever they want. They see something come up, they can watch it if they want, or they can't, do whatever. The issue that I'm having right now, in particular, other than the same Sunday issue that I go through every week, is I've lost that right now because I'm in that limbo stage. I'm not in a situation where I'm using my creative resources, and I like doing it. This was usually the time originally I was going to do sessions but still be able to have that creative resource, and now I've kind of held off on that. And the only reason why I did that was because sometimes I don't feel like, sometimes I feel like catching up on things. There's just times where I just, and I mean, sometimes it depends on the weather too. Like when I'm at work and we're in a colder time of year, or rain or whatever the heck it is, I wind up not going for a walk for half an hour at where I'm at work, and I end up staying on and checking all the various articles or whatever. So I really am caught up. Or if I'm with my son on a Saturday and we're spending a lot of time watching wrestling or YouTube, suddenly it's just like, okay, I want to do something else. I want to do something else that's fun. I don't want to just watch YouTube, or I want to be active. I want to be able to do something. The biggest thing, though, for me, why I do YouTube, I think the biggest reason why I do YouTube is to one, I know people like it, I guess, because I do get views, I do get likes. I certainly want to continue to have the brand available for when I am ready, but I'm not 100% convinced of RTS. I'm not convinced of how much energy I'm going to have down the road. I think I will have the energy once the move is out of the way, once I'm, settled. I believe I will have the energy because I will be much calmer. Right now, Sundays are a little bit strange, because it's one thing, me hearing a dog or whatever upstairs and, oh, that's cute and all, but it's another thing knowing that your son is there and knowing that you're right underneath him. He's there, and you're going to be able to, if you need to, see what's up, you can just call upstairs and see what's up, and he can do the same with you. So and I mean, he can always call me. He knows that. I ask him what he's doing and stuff like that. And, I mean, he's handling it a lot better than I am. There was a time where he wasn't handling it as well. But this is a change that I think is going to be much better. It's just going to go through a rough phase right now because there's really, yes, I like to have fun and all that, and I accomplished quite a bit today, but there's still a lot of work to do. I have a lot of preparing to do. I really shouldn't be spending any time developing. If I want to relax, that's okay. I think it's perfectly fine for me to want to relax and have fun and give myself a break. Procrastinate, yes, that's fine. I think it's perfectly fine to do so. Because I do need time for myself. I do need time for things that I like. Not necessarily what my son likes, but what I like. So that's, in a nutshell. But what happens on a Sunday, okay, or what happens on even on a Monday and a Wednesday, being able to broadcast what I'm doing and comment on what I'm doing, and it kind of breaks that silence, because it's a lot different when you're with family or you're with loved ones. Hell, even when I go to work, you know, suddenly, I kid you not, I'll get to work, and I remember this last week, and I got a little bit, you know, there's a couple little stressful information. Actually, I found out I got a stressful situation because of a customs issue that I found out about today when checking in. I shouldn't have checked in had I not known, but the fact that I do know now means, okay, good, I'm glad I do know. But unfortunately, that adds a little bit of stress now, where I'm thinking, okay, well, what's going on with this thing? This thing should have been, this thing was already accepted a few days ago, and suddenly there's an issue with it. So I have to go, you know, I don't have to go in anywhere. I mean, there's nothing I can do right now. I have to wait till Monday anyway. So anything that's out of my control, there's no, you know, I try not to spend too much stress on it. I just let it go and say, okay, I've done everything that I can for tonight. I'll deal with it on Monday morning, and, you know, I'll be fine. Now, I know last Monday, and I think I may have mentioned it in the last video, last Monday I was really stressed out. You know, the anxiety was just really hitting me. And I think a lot of it had to do with the move, a lot of it had to do with all the changes that were going on. At that point, I don't think I was 100% certain if my notice was in. My notice has been accepted. Everything is a go. So there's no turning back now. I'm doing it. And I know, you know, I know what the rent rate's going to be. I know everything pretty much, other than how I'm going to move it and get everything going. So with that in mind, I mean, that, at least that's good to know. And I like knowing. I like knowing what's going to happen. It's very important to me. So knowing those things and having it all set, you know, it makes it a lot easier. But, you know, just knowing is fine. The problem is your brain plays tricks on you. At least mine does. Mine, and I think it has a lot to do with medication I'm on. Basically anything where I'm starting to think back, or I can't remember exactly how things I feel, but I remember Monday coming in, how much better I felt once I got to work. Because once I got back into the swing of things of the week, it was fine. I was fine. Even when the stresses did come up, and when, you know, even flows of the week, I call it manageable stress at work. There's never really anything where I can't handle it. If I can't handle that, I go for help. It's simple. Or I say, hey, I need help with this. You know, I'm not going to sit there and say, I can't do it. You know, I'll find a way to get it done, but I'll say, hey, yeah, I need help with this. And, you know, I have a great, you know, I think I have a great rapport with everybody at work. No issues that I'm aware of. Well respected, etc. So it's cool. Everything's cool about it. But I have for the past 7 years, as I've said probably in the last video, it hasn't been easy. So the last 7 years, oh yeah, that was the other thing too. I had a slow leak on my front right tire today. I was just thinking of that, and I'm like, haha. So that's another thing I gotta get fixed. So that was a little bit of added stress, but that's okay. That's no big deal. It's a slow leak. I was able to pump it up again, and everything was fine. There's a screw in the front right tire. I'm like, great. But I'm glad it's not the new tires, because the new tires I just got put on the rears, but the fronts, one of the front right had a screw in it, and it was down, pretty much down to like 10 pounds this morning, according to the car computer or whatever. I'm like, oh great. And that was just as we were going out. So, but no, we had a great weekend. We watched a lot of wrestling. There was a lot of events. Actually, there's an event tonight. I could watch it, but you know, and that's the other thing too. I mean, once I'm there, I mean, just because yeah, we have a visitation schedule, but for me personally, I don't think there's any reason why he can't watch wrestling with me on a Sunday night. And there's an event tonight in Toronto, actually, of all places, and we're gonna start watching it on Tuesday. Hopefully, I don't get what they call spoiled, whereas basically the YouTube, because I'll watch YouTube and my feeds will go up, and it'll all of a sudden tell me what happened. I hate it when that happens, but sometimes it happens, and then I get spoiled. But I don't think there's anything major that could spoil me anyways. But all of that stuff is going to be much, much better moving forward once I'm there, because then he's there, I know he's there, and you know, if he's out with his friends, that's fine. If he's out with his mom, that's fine. If he's gone away with his mom, that's fine. Those things are fine. I can handle that. But when he's there, the majority of the time, it's nice to know he is there. And you know, I gotta deal with the fact that he's growing up too. You know, he's getting older. He's not always going to be there. So, you know, just like, you know, he realizes that I'm not always going to be there either. You know, it goes both ways. He knows that. He knows that, you know, we're only alive for so long. We only have so many opportunities. As I look at my little background screen, and we were talking about boats today. We were talking, you know, we didn't get to do as much boating as I wanted to this year. And, you know, I asked him, I said, are you sure you're still into it? He says he is. I know he's not into Run 8. But there's sometimes I think I sense that there's something that he's not into before he knows it. But anyways, call it parental intuition, if you will. So anyways, getting back to this whole thing of what's going on, the whole Sunday thing, and the fact that I don't have a server to build up right now. I don't really have anything to call my own. Yes, I could go over to start playing around with New York again, but no, I'm not. I'm just not going there at the moment. It's no disrespect to the fine root. I want to have something that I feel very comfortable, that's not too much of a burden, but is enough to make it creatively interesting for me to run. There's times where I'm not even too sure how much I want to do with trains anymore. Now, it's really weird, because I mean, it's still a big part of my spare time, Mondays and Wednesdays. It's still something that I do, not all the things we do when we go away, but it's still a big one. I mean, for example, yeah, I'm going down to Ohio. I got that booked this week too, so it's booked. We're all good to go for the U.S. Thanksgiving holiday. So we're going down to Ohio. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to it more because it's a new location and it's actually a pretty good rate. That's what I'm looking forward to. I don't want to just go to some place to spend money for the sake because there's trains there. I'm very sensitive with the money. I changed my car insurance this week I got a better rate now all of a sudden. So there's a lot of improvements that I'm making that should alleviate a lot of the day-to-day, week-to-week stress that I seem to go through. More of a week-to-week type thing. So that should help. Sundays are a weird one still, at least right now, and it's just, yeah, I get them till 3 o'clock, and that's awesome. It's awesome to have them till 3 o'clock now. It used to be 1. So I get them a little bit longer. In the summer, I get them even longer. So it's kind of weird because summer, and then it takes a while to get used to. Even though, I mean, hell, it's been several weeks since he's been back to school now, I guess. Well, actually, yeah, it's been over 2 months, and I still quite haven't got used to the change. Whereas before we had it, and you know, the days were longer. We just had last weekend we had standard time come back. That changed things a little bit for me, not too much. We got to go out today. It was cool. It was, you know, not that windy, but it was definitely around the freezing mark. But it was rather somewhat pleasant and cool, and we did exactly what we did last week. We went to the same place we did last week. I got a lot of bread in the freezer. I'm slowly going through it. It's just leftover bread that I freeze. It's all the ends of the bread, because what happens is neither myself or my son like the bread end. A lot of people don't either. So I save them. I put them in the freezer so that they don't go bad or anything like that. And I just keep them in the freezer, and eventually I feed birds or ducks or whatever. And lately it's been mainly seagulls. I mean, not that I feel like feeding seagulls, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to watch. I call what I call frisbees. I find it very entertaining to throw and we just throw them in the canal, in the Seagulls, the Welland Ship Canal, and we go down there to the bike path, and we end up going for a walk too, which is really good. I love going for a walk with him, because that's where we get to really talk about things. You know, there's no distractions. There's no nothing but just him and I and nature, to be able to talk about what's really on his mind, and what he really wants, and what I really want. And you know, there's so many things that I want out of life, and he's so young at this point compared to me. I'm sure he's got a lot of, you know, things, and I give him, I show him ideas, and try to think of ideas that he, you know, just to get his curiosity going of what he could do when he grows up. I mean, last week, I mean, I know there was one thing that was stressing me out, was probably one of the videos I saw going to bed, and it was some of the bleakness of potential of the future, the immediate future that's coming. And nobody knows what the future is going to be, but there's a lot of bad signs out there for various things. But anyways, things, you know, things change, and hopefully things will change for the better. You know, hopefully the people find out that people are a lot more similar than different. I mean, yeah, we all have a bunch of differences, but we're a lot more similar. So hopefully that changes, and you know, things get a little bit better on that respect. But for now, it's the same old with me. Fridays is getting very strange with me, and I don't understand it. I think it's the time of year. I knew there was a lot of wrestling events that we could get through, but I really didn't know what else we had planned, and we didn't really talk about it. So Fridays is a little bit stressful for me, and this hasn't happened. I never recall Fridays being stressful, but you know, I have my routine Monday to Friday. All of a sudden, Fridays is just like I do not like the unknown. I do not like. I like exploring, and I love going in places I've never been. I love that, but what I don't like is not knowing what either the future holds, or not knowing what you know, there's nothing I can do about that other than, you know, take it one day at a time. But not knowing, you know, what is going to happen on a weekend. So I'm a big planner, whereas my son, he's just, you know, he takes it in stride. He don't care. He doesn't seem to be much of a worrier compared to me. But it was just like, wow. The last couple Fridays have been weird, and it's just because I think it's just the time of year, and I mean, we found so many things that we like to do. I mean, I found out that he loves to go hiking. Problem is, you know, if there's been a lot of rain or something like that, it's difficult to get into certain areas. So I'll keep an eye on the weather this week, and then hopefully have an idea, but even next weekend I'm not 100% sure. I definitely know what I'm doing the weekend before, and of course that's going to be that whole trip. So that's a good thing. And we really haven't had a good trip in a little bit. I mean, we have trips all the time, but to have a really good, good few days that it's just us, it's been a while. And this is going to be the last opportunity we have until probably, I would say, other than I don't know what. That's just because of the season coming up. We really don't have too much going on until probably at least March. Probably March, maybe, or March break. I'm sure we'll think of something. But I don't get March break. Right now I haven't. We just started talking about vacations. In July we're talking about heading out east. Between Canada Day and July 4th, which is July 1st. July 1st is on a Monday this year. July 4th is on a Thursday. I'll probably end up taking if I can get it, I will take the Friday before, go all the way through to an entire week. And I usually take that anyways. That seems to be the last couple of years has been. I did it this year. I did it the year before when I went across the country. Actually, I took most of my vacation for about those 2 solid weeks. And yeah, that seems to be the big one. But it was kind of odd because we were talking about that, and I said, "Well, what the hell did we do in July?" I couldn't remember. And he said, "Oh, it was cool. We took all kinds of day trips." I says, "Oh." I says, well, that's nice. Now day trips. Here's the positive of a day trip. And we took all kinds of different day trips. We went to Sarnia. We went to I think we went to. Did we go to Windsor? Yeah, we went to Windsor the one time. We went to Goderich. There was all kinds of places we went to. Peterborough, I think we went the one day. And the cool thing about the day trips is I don't have to spend money on a motel. The bad side about that is there's a lot of driving, and you're taking 4 to 6 hour round trips. Generally, 4 to 6 hours of round trips each day that you do it. And what ends up happening after that, you realize that, okay, well, you just did, you did 600 kilometers a day, and you spent in 4 days, you spent about $120. So yeah, it's a little bit cheaper, but then you're getting wear and tear on the car as well, because I mean, I had to change some tires this year. The rear tires I was talking about earlier, the fronts, I don't know what's going on with them. They should be in good shape, other than the flat that I need to get repaired, the slow leak. But yeah, it's a little bit of one and less of the other, and blah blah blah. But no, I'm looking forward to getting myself settled and getting a little bit of a little bit of optimism as far as the finances go. Short term, it's going to be tough still. I'm still waiting for certain funds to transfer from Europe. Once that happens, and wait and see what happens and who's nice enough to give me some money at Christmas, and then we'll see what happens there. I mean, people. It's one of those things. It's going to come down to December. I'm going to be waiting for what comes my way, and if stuff doesn't come my way, then I'm going to probably temporarily take some line of credit, or I have a line of credit, so I'll probably end up using that, despite the fact that I have other investments locked up. Well, they're not really locked up, but I don't feel like liquidating them. So I'll actually go ahead and spend a little bit of low interest just to get me by and settled, and then hopefully everything will settle themselves, and my overall expenses next year should be down. Once the move's done, once everything's out, once the car's paid off, everything should be much better. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm kind of excited about that, and that's, like I said, once I'm in that situation. But I was talking about what Fridays. Fridays are weird because I don't know what's going to happen, and it's just like, okay, well, what are we going to do? And I feel like I have to make something happen with him and I. We can't just watch YouTube all day. We got to do something. But at this time of year, it's very difficult to do certain things. And then try to find the games that we like. We were watching Myst today, actually, a YouTube video, so it looks like he's interested in that. This is the new game that we were into, but we were both talking about this, and it's good. I like space games and all, but you take a turn and then you have to wait a little while. This is horrible to live stream, by the way, or put it on YouTube. It is horrible. And that goes back to, well, okay, what do I want? I'm going to probably play Myst later on. I may live stream it. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. I'll take a little bit of a break here in the next few minutes, and then see what's going on, and probably, I might just go ahead and do a live stream with Myst and try to enjoy myself, or I might, I don't know. We'll see. But that's where, I don't know if I want to continue to put it on the channel, or probably tonight I'll just play it. You guys let me know. You want to see me play some other games, let me know. Personally, I'm not one to watch. I personally would rather play the games than watch live streams of them. And we were watching, not so much live streams, even videos of them. We were watching 3 30-minute videos of somebody else playing Myst today, and finding out, there's new updates and stuff. And this was a game we were playing for a while, then we kind of gave up. I still like the survival. We both still like the survival games. Subsistence is another one. That's something I'm debating to get back into, because my son doesn't seem to be as interested in that anymore. And it is a beautiful game. Stranded Deep's another one I haven't played in a long time. That's kind of funky in itself. So there's all kinds of things to, hell, I can even play pinball if I was really bored. I mean, there's some cool stuff there, but Train Dispatcher, not. I mean, I enjoy what I'm doing on Mondays and Wednesdays. I don't need Train Dispatcher. That's kind of going back to the whole RTS thing, and if you guys are still with me and want to know what's going on with the RTS side of things, I haven't been too, I don't know, I haven't been too motivated to do anything train-wise for anything. I would much rather use somebody else's platform and develop something to work with it, as opposed to starting out scratch. So it's 6:30 p.m. right now. I'm going to end this in a couple minutes, but I could easily, and I say this with all sincerity, I could easily create something that would do what Train Dispatcher 3 does. Maybe not have the what you see is what you get editor, but I could certainly make it so that it will work much better. I thought about doing that, but I don't know. I want to make it really good. I want to make it really, it's got to keep me in. There's something about doing the Monday and Wednesday sessions that make it feel more realistic than that. However, the Monday and Wednesday sessions, I will say this, there is a lot of stuff going on. That is a big section. They sometimes can get very stressful. Not in a bad way, but challenging, over challenging in some ways. So I'm watching myself on that one. I don't want to overstress myself, especially if I had a stressful day and I want to relax. But right now I've signed up for tomorrow. I think things will be fine by tomorrow. Things will clear up at work, I would imagine. If they don't, I don't care. They'll do what they do. So, but I'm looking forward to having plenty of time. All the groceries are all set. I'm doing my dishes right now in the background. Did I say laundry earlier? It's dishes. So everything should be in good shape tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to do another live stream tonight. I may change my mind, but you know, it's just and you know, we were talking today. I was talking to my son about editing. I said, you know, I could probably get, you know, so many subscribers and blah blah blah. YouTube doesn't pay that much anyways. You got to have something like really huge. And I've thought about it, and maybe editing is something that my son would be interested in doing, and I can just film the stuff and give him the raw video and say, here, go at it. I don't know. We'll have to talk some more about it. I'll see. But for now, I'm going to end this video and quit blabbing and go do something, some fun. So, like I said, I do this to break the silence, I think, and now I just, you know, I get that off. Like I said, this is like my couch. You guys are like my couch sometimes. But Sundays are a little weird because, you know, there's just a change. You have all that activity that's happening, and throwing pieces of bread and watching 100 geese go after it. I mean, it is just hysterical, and him and I coming up with jokes out. You know, we just have a blast together, and then it just all ends at 3 o'clock, and it's a big change. It's not easy. You know, especially when you know you're not going to see him until Tuesday, and it kind of sucks, to be quite honest. And by the time Monday comes around, I don't care. I shouldn't say I don't care, but by the time Monday comes around, I get back into the routine of work. I realize, you know, the weeks, believe it or not, the weeks go by just as fast as the weekends. And you know, time goes by at the same pace regardless, but it doesn't drag on. You know, Friday doesn't take forever to get there. I enjoy the Tuesday. And that's the thing. I enjoy the Tuesdays and the Thursdays with him just as much as I do the weekends, because on the Tuesdays and Thursdays I'm getting to watch him karate at night, and we get to do other things on those evenings. So it's not all about the weekends. It's certainly not. Sometimes the weekends are stressful. It's like, what the hell am I going to do with him for all this time? So I think things will get a lot better once I've moved back there. And even though you know, it's going to be my place, my basement apartment, I think it's going to be much more natural to be there, and he's there if he needs me or if I need him, and we can get together and do something impromptu. So be it. That'd be great. And I'll still do the sessions and all that. But anyways, okay, enough yapping. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow night. I'll get on probably a little bit earlier this time and make sure I'm all set up and try to get things better organized. I really want to get things better organized so there's no surprises, and I know what the hell's going on in relation to you know, being able to manage the traffic patterns a little bit better, and etc. So that's my challenge for tomorrow, so looking forward to it. Anyways, we'll see you then. Have a good one. Take care.